Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no! This is crazy. My Walking Dead collection video game is finally on the way to my door from Amazon after a week of waiting for it. It's finally going to arrive on Halloween, so I'm going to spend my Halloween gaming while handing out treats at the same time. I'm getting a lot of stuff done, a lot of stuff happening. Happy Halloween to everybody, if you're wondering. No, I was never a fan of the Walking Dead TV series. However, I did play the game and I loved it. I just recently purchased the collection off Amazon. It's coming from the States, and conveniently enough, the Walking Dead collection is arriving on Halloween. Wherever you are celebrating Halloween in the world today, just know my heart is forever and always with you. Guys, I love Halloween so much, and I love when you show up at my door dressed up as your favorite Descendants characters, because I love how much passion you guys showcase for this franchise, and how much life and how much incentive you give people like Ruby Rose Turner, Kylie Cantrell to keep on moving forward with this franchise, because they are doing a fabulous job with this franchise, and I think more opportunities are in store for them in the very near future, and I'm just excited to be a part of it, guys. You guys took this YouTube channel and you exploded it in popularity. Thousands of people have subscribed to this YouTube channel and have fallen in love with every one of the videos that I've uploaded from the very first video. I made you guys a promise that I would dedicate the rest of my life, even if that's what that meant, to uploading Descendants and Zombies videos for the people who love Descendants and Zombies, who have forever and always held a special place in their hearts for Descendants and Zombies, who came out in unison out of love and support for your favorite stars of the Worlds Collide Tour. And despite all the criticism the Worlds Collide Tour may have received from these big-time YouTube creators on these big-time YouTube channels, you guys outshined all the criticism, and I want to say thank you for that, because some of your videos that you uploaded, your vlogs, were amazing. Seeing how you prepared yourself for the Worlds Collide Tour, you picked out these beautiful outfits, you hung out with your friends on the way to the tour in the car, having so much fun, singing your favorite Descendants songs, and then you experienced it all live, and I just wished I could have been in the crowd. Unfortunately for me, there were no tour dates near my location, so I couldn't get a ticket, but if I was one of those reviewers that would have showed up in the crowd, you guys would have supported Jonathan Clarke, right? And my desire to want to crowd surf, you guys probably would have caught me. I would have had the time of my life with you guys. I just would have loved to have been in the crowd just to experience it. Not to review it as a critic or a journalist, just to experience it and to fall in love with Descendants and Zombies all over again. Because I go back to 2015 when I saw Descendants for the first time ever, and how it captivated millions of people. It truly blew my mind how much of a captivative experience this was, and how you became immersed in Descendants and your favorite characters. I think it had something to do with both the music and the story coming together, fit perfectly together, and I think that's what a musical really prides itself on. When the emotions are too high in the script, they use the power of music to tell a story, and that's what we'll see with Wicked for Good coming out on November 21st. I've got my advance tickets. I'm excited about it. I know it's uncharacteristic that a guy would openly admit with an open heart and an open mind, putting all of his heart behind Wicked and Ariana Grande's performance as Belinda the Good Witch. But there was just something about Ariana Grande's performance of that character last year that captivated me, and I've always had a special place in my heart, forever and always reserved, for musicals like High School Musical, Hannah Montana, The Jonas Brothers, and now eventually what it's evolved into, Descendants and Zombies. But when you compare the two tours, the Hannah Montana Jonas Brothers Best of Both Worlds tour from 2008 and Descendants and Zombies from 2025, I really believe that Descendants and Zombies is in a class of its own, and it will never ever be surpassed what Descendants and Zombies has accomplished, because it's gone on to touch the hearts of so many wonderful people for whatever reason that they were a fan of Descendants and Zombies. You know, how you guys have this passion for collecting the dolls. I was just looking at the Zombies dolls, the new Addison doll, the new Nova doll, and I saw videos of them unboxing these dolls for the first time ever. I think this was the first time that Meg Donnelly or Freya Sky had seen their doll, gotten a chance to witness the doll for the first time ever, and I remember the emotion and the tears in their eyes. And you may be wondering why there's a lot of emotion and tears in their eyes when they unbox the doll for the first time and see it for the first time ever. It's because you reach a point where you realize that your legacy has been fulfilled and your legacy has been solidified. Because when you become an action figure or a doll, I've seen this with so many professional wrestlers over the years who never had an action figure before, And when they finally got to that point, they realized that they would go down in history for being legends. And that's all I've ever wanted for your favorite Descendants of Zombie stars to be remembered for being, is legends. Because that's all I've ever wanted to go down in history for. I've never wanted to go down in history for being known. I've just wanted to go down in history for being a legend. I never cared about the fame. More people on YouTube know who Jonathan Clarke on YouTube is now because of Descendants of Zombies, and you guys brought me back. I had this conversation with my friend a couple of days ago from New York. He comes to visit me all the time, and he said, Jonathan Clarke, do you ever want to be famous? Do you want to go down in history for being famous? I said, it has nothing to do with fame. It just has everything to do with recognition and people knowing who I am. And if more people know who I am because of Descendants of Zombies and my passion for Disney that I've showcased for the last 30 years, because I feel like I've been a part of everything having to do with Disney, that's all I've ever wanted. I wanted to be known for my opinions on Kylie Cantrell and Ruby Rose Turner because I love them so dearly. I have a special place in my heart, deep within my heart, for Kylie and Ruby, and it has everything to do with their friendship. And my issue lies with the critics and how they feel about Kylie Cantrell, how she performs, and it's not living up to their criteria or their expectations. I think that if we're going to talk about Kylie Cantrell and we're going to talk about Ruby Rose Turner, then we should talk about them. That is exactly what I want to do with them, is I want to talk about them, and I want to showcase them for their true worth and their true potential. Because when you talk about a live-action Jasmine for Aladdin 2, which I've been seeing a lot of reports being leaked online about, apparently development for that is going to begin in 2026. Now that is just a rumor, but when you talk about franchises like Aladdin 2, the perfect girl to play Jasmine would have been Kylie Cantrell in my eyes, because she just fits the Jasmine criteria and really presents the Jasmine kind of vibe. When you talk about Linda Larkin and how fabulous of a job she did at 26 years old bringing that character to life in 1992 for me as a fan of Aladdin, and I was a huge fan of Aladdin. I mean, I played the video game, I had the Aladdin pajamas, I had the Aladdin stuffies, I went to see the Aladdin live action. It was a whole lot of fun for me being a fan of Aladdin, so I would want a girl to play Jasmine who was just as iconic as what Linda Larkin was back 30 years ago, because it's really hard to believe it's been 30 years since Aladdin. So I think there are just some live actions that Disney can't afford to make any mistakes with or really screw up, and I really believe that Tangled and Aladdin are two live actions that they really can't afford to make any mistakes on. So casting Kylie Cantrell in place of Naomi Scott, I would go for, but, not taking anything away from Naomi Scott's portrayal of Jasmine, because she did a fabulous job and a better job than what I expected or anticipated going into this one. My sister even cried during Aladdin when she saw it for the first time. So knowing that Aladdin 2 is currently in development and production is going to begin, filming is going to commence in 2026, I'm really excited about it. And apparently there is a Hercules live action on tap for Disney too, and I would also go for Kylie Cantrell being in that, probably being Meg in that franchise, because there are just these iconic girls with Disney that have forever and always stood out for me, leaving an everlasting impression on Disney Channel, because Disney Channel has this thing where they sprinkle you everywhere before giving you more opportunities to see how audiences are going to perceive you. And Kylie Cantrell just had it. She had everything. She was a singer. She was a dancer. She grew up in a dance home. She had the support of her mom and her dad, who was a music producer, and her mom, who was a professional dancer. So she had that background. And Kylie Cantrell's got moves. I cannot deny that. I would love to be able to dance or have that energy that Kylie Cantrell has. Don't ask me to bust a move or do any of these dance numbers with zombies, because I don't know if I'd be able to do it. Although dancing on stage with a bunch of zombies looks really cool, but I would always love the opportunity to crowd surf, and I would take myself up on the opportunity to do that. You guys would catch me, right, if Jonathan Clarke decided to jump off stage and get away from a bunch of zombies, because I love Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Thousands of people have subscribed here, so I not only have the support of you guys, I have the support of Descendants of Zombies, and I've just had forever and always place in my heart for Descendants of Zombies, because when you talk about a story that captivates you, I mean, Descendants of Zombies has always and forever been in that conversation. The story between Zed and Addison is what kick-started it all for us. We got introduced to these characters off the song This Is Going to Be My Year. Zed wanted to be the greatest football player of all time. Addison wanted to be the greatest cheer captain of all time, and they got to achieve their dreams, and that was what was so beautiful about Zombies, and along with them realizing they wanted to spend the rest of their lives together. But I think at the conclusion of Zombies 4, Dawn of the Vampires, it was a moment that we had waited on for over 7 years, when Zed and Addison realized they wanted to spend the rest of their lives together, no matter how many sacrifices they had to put in front of them or make. They just wanted to spend the rest of their lives together. So the question is, did they really end up together, or is there more of a story to be told? What if Zed and Addison had more of a story to be told and they could come back? What if Victor and Nova's story has more to be revealed than what we expect? There are so many questions along with what's inside of this mysterious vortex. Could it be mermaids? Could it be pirates? Could it be witches? Could it be sirens? Everything rolled into one, and I'm incredibly excited to be a part of it because you girls have had me on a journey for forever talking about Descendants of Zombies, and a journey that I have been incredibly honored to be a part of. If there was one journey that I could go back and experience all over again and fall in love with, it would have to be Descendants of Zombies, because there's so much of a conversation to be had and so much of a greater appreciation, a far greater appreciation for all these characters that have seemingly been forgotten about when it comes to Descendants. Like, I forever wanted to see Alice see her introduction into a franchise. This has everything to do with characters inspired by Alice in Wonderland. Disney's really taking advantage of Alice in Wonderland. Disney Speedstorm has a new season with Alice in Wonderland characters. Alice, of course, the Queen of Hearts, and the Mad Hatter are three of the characters that are added to the Disney Speedstorm racers. And then, of course, Disney, of course, taking advantage of them with Descendants. So I think that this story has been reintroduced time and time again, but there are so many characters that have yet to see their introduction off the inspiration of all these characters. I think there's been way too much emphasis on the Queen of Hearts and her daughter. I think that if Alice were to come into the franchise, it would present a lot of conflict, and it probably would present Red with a new villain, because Alice could be the villain. And the question is, who is going to be the villain in the Descendants 5 Wicked Wonderland franchise? That's the question that is not going to be revealed until the trailer is released, obviously, or more details drop. And the thing about Disney is Disney has this issue with photos being leaked, certain secrets being revealed, and they're doing everything they can to cover it up, to keep it under lock and key. But when that lock and key is finally removed, now the questions will become more clearer than ever before, and I think that that's where the issue lies. But the way I look at it as a writer and producer, you just got to have a creative energy, and that's what's really been lacking with Disney. And that's why they try to kayfabe everything, is because they don't want anything leaked. Because if a photo gets leaked of a set prop or a scene, oh my God, Descendants is ruined for life. But it's all about how much creative energy that you put forth. And I think that if you had more creative energy and more creative minds who love Descendants of Zombies just as much as what the fans do, I think you would have a greater appreciation coming from everybody who was a part of it. Because I saw appreciation from Zombies because the cast for the first time ever had creative energy and creative say and input. And that's what I really appreciated. Working in New Zealand was one experience, a whole different experience, but, you know, being so proud to be around so many wonderful people with such creative energy and creative say for the first time ever made it a moment I think that Meg Donnelly and Milo Manheim will forever be appreciative of, along with sitting behind the camera for the first time ever, because now they, as directors and writers, will be able to bring zombies to life in a way that it's never been brought to life before, and that's something I'm excited about moving forward into the foreseeable future with each and every one of you, because I'm going to be honest with you guys, I really love the zombie script. I loved how Disney really came into the sci-fi realm off the introduction of the Marvel multiverse and More Than One Incredible Hulk, More Than One Captain America. Now, to be honest with you guys, I was really messed up realizing there was more than one Spider-Man, more than one Captain America, more than one Incredible Hulk. Because as a fan of superheroes all of my lifetime, I always believed there was only one Spider-Man, only one Incredible Hulk, only one Captain America, and I was like, what's happening here? And off the introduction of the Marvel Multiverse, while everybody was checking out, I remained checked in, loyal to Marvel, and Disney came out with Descendants of Zombies off of that. It was a perfect time to introduce this concept because Disney was really coming into a sci-fi kind of realm that they'd never left. And I think while people chose to criticize it, I was one of those guys on YouTube. I was a YouTuber that chose to give it more of a chance than ever before, and I'm thankful I did. Because Stan Lee created all these wonderful characters in Marvel, Disney was coming out with these innovative musicals, and everything was fitting perfectly together, and it was so beautifully done. And I think that people like Kenny Ortega, Jennifer Fang, and Kimmy Gatewood, although I haven't seen any of Kimmy Gatewood's previous work, I think they deserve to be commended for how they really felt inspired by Descendants and how they give this life and so much incentive. And you guys have been incredibly supportive. From producer to writer to character development, you guys have been unbelievably supportive. Development of The Rise of Red began in 2021, and we had that teaser at the end of the Royal Wedding that Alice in Wonderland and Cinderella characters were going to see their introduction into this franchise. We didn't know what kind of twists and turns we were going to see along the journey, but we got to a point where Red and Chloe would be introduced, and you guys accepted them. And it took some time, I will admit to each and every one of you, it took time for me to get used to how the times had changed. but with everything, it's constantly evolving. I remember in English class years ago, the teacher asked me what I used to describe a certain situation, whatever novel we were studying at the time. I think it was Dracula, and I said evolved because that was the only word that I could come to mind at that time. And I think the same logic applies to Descendants of Zombies. We, as fans, are changing with the times, and we are evolving as fans. The franchise continues to evolve, and we become more acceptant as the time goes on, because the reoccurring message in Descendants has forever and always been acceptance, and how somebody finds their place in life because of trying to struggle with acceptance. And I think everybody saw themselves at one point or another through the eyes of whatever character they were a fan of in the Zombies franchise, and that's what made it so cool to be a fan of both Descendants and Zombies. The music brought it to life, but it also had a powerful story backing it. And that's what was so cool about Zombies. Everybody not just fell in love with the music, people fell in love with the story, and they were so intrigued, left on the edge of their seats, wondering what was going to happen next. And I'll be honest with each and every one of you, I'm far from a critic, I'm far from a journalist, I'm just a fan who uploads these videos because of you. Jonathan Clarke on YouTube happens and exists because of each and every one of you. And as long as Jonathan Clarke on YouTube happens and exists because of each and every one of you, I will be here breaking down and analyzing the franchises. I've been referred to as a Descendants analyst because I seem to know everything there is to know about Descendants and Zombies, because I think it has everything to do with not so much how I study it, but how much of an appreciation I have for you as a fan, because I think about you being a fan watching the video on the other side. And I know there probably is a zombie or an alien watching this video on the way to Earth to kill us all, but if there's one niche that I would love to die with and go out with, and being so proud to die with, it would be Descendants of Zombies. So alien mothership, bring your worst. Reportedly, there's an alien mothership on the way to Earth to kill us all. I don't know how true that is, but it's less than 100 days from touching down on Earth, and we're all doomed. But if there's one niche that I would love to die and go out with, it would be the fans of Descendants of Zombies, because each and every one of you have been incredibly supportive of my vision for the future of Descendants of Zombies, and you guys have accepted me as your voice of Descendants of Zombies and your potential president of the United States, because if Quality Control's political point of view keeps ending up in the conversation, the only thing left for Jonathan Clarke to do that remains is run and throw his name into the presidential campaign and the presidential race. And I would love to be a president that Quality Control could be proud of, and I know I have the support and the love of all the Descendants of Zombies fans out there. It's time to give Kylie Control a president that she can be proud of and be proud to live in America because her political point of view somehow or some way is always ending up in conversations, which is totally unnecessary and uncalled for. And I think if we're going to say something nice about Kylie Control, we should say something nice about Kylie Control and give her incentive to keep on performing, because she does such a fabulous job. That's the thing about Quality Control that gets me every single time, how appreciative she is of each and every one of you, and just so appreciative of every single moment that she's ever been a part of. And, you know, it's really hard to believe that I've recorded 3 podcasts over the course of this morning, and I haven't even had my lunch break yet, but I will be back later on tonight, just after sunset, as we celebrate Halloween and we close out Halloween 2025. Thank you guys so much for spending your Halloween with me. I hope you have a wonderful Halloween. I hope you get lots of treats going door to door with your friends, because these moments in time are moments that will never ever happen for us again. The thing about time is forever and always elapsing in an hourglass. So because time is forever and always elapsing in an hourglass, and we never know how much time we have, moments like these will never happen again. So we forever have to cherish these moments, which is why when I saw Red and Chloe dress up as themselves and nobody knew who they were on Halloween, it was a moment I was very appreciative of, because moments like this only happen once per every lifetime, and they never seem to happen again. So I'm just so appreciative of being a part of it with each and every one of you. I'm so appreciative to be a fan of Descendants of Zombies, and I'm so appreciative of you guys for really bringing this franchise to life and showing me the incentive to create so many wonderful videos for you guys and to draw inspiration from Descendants of Zombies. Because if we're going to talk about Descendants of Zombies, then that's what we should do. We should tell everybody why we were a fan of Descendants of Zombies as opposed to uploading reaction videos. I've seen way too many reaction videos that really have made no sense to me whatsoever. So to have the honor of uploading videos that actually make sense and break down and analyze these franchises for you forever and always the way they've been meant to be analyzed is the greatest honor of my life. And I honestly wouldn't have it any other way. To have the honor to sit behind this microphone every single day for the rest of my life and to break down Descendants of Zombies has been the greatest honor that I've ever had bestowed upon me. So guys, from my heart to yours, all I'd just like to say is thank you so much. Thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of your life. Thank you guys so much for allowing me to help you make sense of everything Descendants of Zombies, and hopefully you will return tonight as we break down Descendants of Zombies and continue on this conversation and pick up right from where we left off, guys, because this is so much fun. This is so much fun. I am excited about Descendants Black Wonderland, upcoming Zombies 5, not until 2028. I get it. Zombies 5 not happening until 2028. What do we do? Well, Jonathan Clarke is going to take care of you guys. I'm going to upload as many Zombies videos as I can, so Zombies 5 will happen quicker for you because you deserve that at least. And you deserve somebody to break down the Descendants of Zombies franchises the way they were forever and always meant to be presented. Because we can shy away from criticism and we can talk about it in the same perspective that it's deserved for forever and always. And that's with respect and with honoring your favorite stars, because they still have a long way to go. And they're so young, too. I mean, Kylie Control just turned 20 back in June. Malia Baker's turning 20, I think, in December. So we've got that to celebrate. Actually, a couple of days before Christmas, her birthday will happen, I think, a week before Christmas. I think that's December 18th. So I've got that on my calendar. So if you have not subscribed to this YouTube channel, you're probably going to want to do that. And yes, I know when Kylie and Malia's birthdays are, and I know when Ruby's was on October 16th, and Freya's was the day after, October 16th through 17th. This was a big month for this YouTube channel. So many people have subscribed, and I can never seem to put into words how appreciative I am of each and every one of you. Happy Halloween, everybody. Go get some treats. Have a whole lot of fun. Come back tonight when you're eating your treats and checking out what you got, your loot, and watch the latest episode of Jonathan Clarke Video Blogs. You have been watching the latest episode for now of Jonathan Clarke Video Blogs. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a happy Halloween, everybody. We will talk later on tonight, because the only thing left to do in this lifetime is to stay calm and zombie on into the foreseeable future, because life is that much sweeter when all of us are. Thank you guys so very much.